again, everybody. It's Robert Brighton, and welcome back to a late summer edition of All That Glitters. Wow, where has summer gone? It's been a busy one for me. As a guy from Buffalo, New York, part of it's been spent trying to stay out of the heat, but I can only complain so much because I'm lucky. I have a job that allows me to be inside most of the time where it's nice and cool and I can work. So I hope you've had a wonderful summer, and if you like the heat, it's been a good one for you. And as I said, I've been keeping busy with a couple of things. One is, and I'll tell you about this in more detail in a series of a few videos that'll come out very shortly, about what writers can learn from actors. You might wonder why that topic is top of mind for me these days. And the reason is because I've been taking acting lessons, which I never really thought I would do, to be honest with you. But since I narrate my own audiobooks, well, so far I have anyway, the first one and now this new one that's coming out, which I'll tell you about in a minute, I thought I can always up my game, I can always do better, and maybe if I took some acting classes, I would be better at reading my books and voicing my characters and telling a story to people who like audiobooks. And so it was a bit of a wild hair, but wow, am I really glad I did it. And I have to say, I had the completely wrong idea of what acting is. I mean, I just did. I think I had a view of acting that maybe a lot of people have, which is that it's just like fake. Wow, is that wrong? Because actually, and I'll tell you more about this in the other videos, but actually acting is the realest thing I think you can do. And I'll explain that, but it's an eye-opener, and let me tell you, I think it'll help you, what I'll share with you about acting, I think it'll help you as a writer, but it'll also help you as a person. I mean, I found that taking these acting classes has really helped me to be more mindful about, the way I interact with other people and all this other stuff. So anyway, I'm not gonna go into it now, but it's pretty interesting, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it, I'll say that. The other big thing I've been working on is finishing up the audiobook and getting all of the approvals done and out of the way for the next book, which is coming out October 1st, Winter in the High Sierra. And this is my copy, which I just got, and I'm really happy with it. This time the publisher did something really cool. The hardcover here has a dust jacket, like most hardcovers do. But this time they actually printed the cover image also on the boards, which I think is fun because you can take your dust jacket off and keep it aside and keep it really nice, and you still have a pretty image there. As you can probably guess from the image, this is a story. This is a love story, and it's a story of these two people. I won't tell you too much about them because I want you to read the story, but you might think it's just a love story about the two of them, and there is some of that. But it's called a love story because it takes place in some of the most beautiful and remote wilderness in this country and probably the world, the Donner Pass area of the Sierra Nevada mountains. And the young lady shown on the cover is a New York City debutante who is heading west to try to get over a heartbreak, a broken engagement. And she's on a train, and it's the last train of the season, and they're taking a risk by putting her on the train this late in the season anyway. And sure enough, the worst blizzard in 50 years hits the Sierra Nevada as her train's going through, and the train is stuck and is stranded, and this young lady is left behind. This creates a major challenge, obviously for her, just basic survival, and she's also a person that she's been through a lot, and so she's a little fragile right now too. So the story is a love story, and it's a story of these characters learning to love themselves as much as loving each other. It's about falling in love with nature. It's about falling in love with the spiritual elements of our world. All of that is contained in Winter in the High Sierra, and you might wonder, why did I pick that as a theme? Well, first of all my books have some love story in them, so it wasn't completely foreign to me. But this one started on a kind of a dare from my publisher. They said to me, we'd love it if you would write a romance novel. And I said, well, I don't know the first thing about romance novels. I've never read a romance novel. I certainly never written one. And they said, so, you can figure it out. And I thought, yeah, I guess I could. And it started to feel like an interesting challenge. You know, it was, look, I know I normally come up with all my own ideas, and of course the story is my own idea, but the notion of writing a love story was someone else's idea. And so my point is just this, you know, you can get great ideas from all over the place. You don't always have to make them up yourself. And the thing that's really been fun about writing this, and I'll explain this more when I talk to you more about acting, is that one thing writers and actors have very much in common is they both have to inhabit a character. They both have to really be inside the character's skin and experience life from that character's point of view. That can be very difficult, emotionally speaking. You know, if you've read my other books, you know there's highs and lows in them, and there's triumph and there's tragedy, and you go through all those ups and downs with your characters. And by the time I've finished writing a book, I have to be honest with you, I'm normally just flat out exhausted, like emotionally spent. I have to take a little break. I have to do something else and recharge. Winter in the High Sierra, though, I found, quite to my surprise, was entirely different, because the more I wrote on this, the happier I got. And when I finished it, I was so uplifted by the whole thing, by the whole story, that well, I hope you will be too. But I will tell you this: I fell so in love with these two people that, assuming you like them, they'll be back. Okay. So anyway, that's coming out October 1st. Audiobook, paperback, hardcover, and ebook. Everything will be available then. It's already available for pre-order on most of the major sites. And anyway, I hope you'll pick up a copy or two. It'll be a perfect winter read, you know, by the fireplace with some hot cocoa. Or if you live in Florida or someplace else, well, it'll still be a beautiful read with the Christmas lights in the palm trees. So outside. So that's Winter in the High Sierra. That's what I've been up to, and I hope you'll stay tuned, because I want to go into some detail in the next videos about these acting classes I've been taking and what I've been learning about writing, about communicating, and about life from the craft of acting. So stay tuned for that, and in the meantime, I hope you'll support Winter in the High Sierra. Thanks for joining.